bit of a beautiful day today. I have a cough, perfectly illustrating, perfect timing. So I was going to go up a hill today with this gorgeous weather, there's snow on the hills, but the cough got the better of me, so I thought I would have a nice, flat, sedate pedal around the part of Loch Leven you can pedal around. So that's where I am. I'm at the RSPB centre, what used to be called Benvironment is now RSPB Loch Leven. I am there, and I'm going to go all the way around the loch up to about there, and then come back again. As you can see, it says it's a sparkling jewel, which today it will be. Forward to getting in the sun. It is perishingly cold here. It's only about 1 or 2 degrees, even though it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's frosty in the shadow of Benety Hill, so I'm looking forward to getting out to the sunshine. It really is an excellent path. It's, as you can see, it's well surfaced, it's broad, it's wide, it's flat, perfect for cycling. But the path is currently being extended so that it will eventually go around the whole of the loch, and I think that's going to open in spring 2014. And then it'll be 10, 11, 12 miles or something all the way around. That'd be fantastic to be able to do a full loop of the loch. This bench, these sculptures on, the writing on this bench gives you an indication of what happens in here. It says, watch gliders soar on anabatics to wing their way through aerobatics. That's because that over there, this field here, is the, oh, I can just see one going off. There's a Scottish National Gliding Centre, and there's one going off handily, perfectly, just to illustrate that fact. There we go, there's one going up. And you can see it's got a propeller on the front, but that'll be switched off once it gets up there. And at good times, perfect times under perfect conditions, you'll see as many as a dozen gliders, and they tend to sort of wheel around in the skies above here, but you'll see them flying level with Bishop Hill here, which is this hill in the distance. They'll fly lengthwise and sort of come around and keep circling round, and they rise up on all the winds which come along here, along this big plain we're in Kinross-shire, and they come along here, the wind comes and lifts up, and it's all that lift that they're soaring on all the time. It's one of my favourite things to do of a summer afternoon, just sort of sitting up on this hillside and watching the gliders. You can sit up here and they pass along all the way along here, and you're sat above them. They're sort of there and you're up here on the hill. Oh, I just alarmed a buzzard, which, there he goes. Lovely colours. The colours this autumn have been unreal. Don't recall it even getting close to this last year. It was so wet. But it's been a gradual progression into cold this year, and it seems to have preserved the colours. Oh, another glider going up. It's little wonder really that the loch is so popular with wildfowl. It's the biggest area of water outside the Highlands, I think. It's certainly the biggest loch in the lowlands, and it's in lowland Scotland. And it's in an enormous, great big flat plain, There's a lot of nutrients in the loch, partly because of all the agricultural land surrounding this part of Kinross-shire and Fife, and that's also why the geese are here, because they like to nibble on grass and crops, winter crops. So that's what you'll get thousands and thousands of geese coming here, and they'll roost safely on the loch at night time, and then early in the morning they all rise up. It's quite a sight, and the RSPB site does dawn goose watches where you can turn up and watch 20,000 geese rising off the loch and flying off in various different directions in enormous great big flocks, enormous great big skeins of geese, to go and land on the farmers' fields. And obviously the farmers aren't too happy about that, and certainly I forget if there's a season for shooting. I think you are allowed to shoot pink-footed geese, aren't you? Or, I can't remember, I'm not a farmer, I don't know, but I think you can at certain times of year, and they are regarded in some areas of society as a pest. But certainly anyone who lives in this part of the world, Kinross, Fife, parts of Perthshire, will know what an amazing sight and sound it is when all these geese go over. You can have thousands going over at one time. Certainly where I stay in Fife and the Low Hills, it happens quite frequently. You'll get a lot of geese come over. Amazing sight. Such a beautiful day. Cold, mind, but this is not windy. But pedalling at this speed, ooh, chilly hands. Great thing about this circular path around the loch is every now and then you get these bits shooting off, and this one, as you can see, goes to Loch Leven's larder, so which is a farm shop and a restaurant, a cafe. So here you can pop up for tea and cake. RSPB, you can have tea and cake. My personal favourite is the one that you can access via Port Moke over there, where you can have tea and cake, and then you can go all the way to Kinross and have tea and cake, or a beer, or anything you want. So many options. Beautiful smell of wood smoke coming from somewhere. Oh, frost and wood smoke, it's a beautiful combination. You can see over the water, that big hill on the other side of the loch is Benvironment Hill. That's where the RSPB site is, that's where I started. About halfway around the loch. Oh, and look, here we have exactly what I said we have. Geese grazing, as it were, on farmers' fields. You can see munching away like they are why farmers don't necessarily like them. This is why a lot of people come to Loch Leven, very popular with birdie people, a great many of whom I've seen walking around the loch. Typically the sort of middle-aged men wearing black and woolly hats and telephoto lenses. There you go, that's the kind of thing you'd expect to see this time of year flying over this part of the world. Large groups of geese going about their business, gobbling through farmers' fields. There we go, more geese. Geese, swans, ducks, and everything in between. Very, very popular place with animals and people alike. one of the few places you can actually get down to the shoreline. It is beautiful, really, really beautiful. Still, quiet, apart from the geese. But look at that. Well, I don't think I'm going to top this view, this serenity and this peace and quiet, so I think I'll make this a fitting place to end what is the briefest of introductions to quite a, well, as they say, it's a sparkling jewel that few people, I think, relatively speaking in Scotland, few people really know about or have visited. I'll do a longer piece once the full path's open all the way around, but for the moment, just enjoy.